Do you feel successful? Do you feel accomplished? How do you measure that? What is your measure of success? Is it looking at your income, how many figures you make? Is it larger than your friends? Do you get together and compare that with your friends and family members? Do you look at your bank statement? Do you look at if your house is the type of and size of house that you wanted to have? Do you look at the financial growth of your company or your investment portfolio? Do you look at how far you've gotten with your education? You know, is this your second degree, your third degree? Those are wonderful things to aim to play with, to have fun with. It's very fulfilling to enjoy those things, but those are not permanent accomplishments. Of all of those things, which one of those things are eternal? Which ones do you take with you forever? If you remember that you're an eternal being, then remember that you're here to achieve eternal achievements. Money doesn't go with you to the other side. Your business will not go with you. No matter how much you love it, it will not go with you. And in many ways, even your education won't go with you, not your degrees at least. Um, you're here, this is a school, and you are here to learn. And when you return to your non-physical, to being fully your non-physical self, call it spirit, call it soul, call it light being, energy being, you return to source, or you're a bunch of little light beings gathered on the other side, comparing notes on what you learned and achieved in this incarnation. I guarantee you that your bank statement or your pay stub is not going to be part of that conversation. You won't even remember such a thing because such a thing belongs to the physical world and to a specific time and place. And your eternal being is not measuring that as your measure of success. So, what does go with you to the other side? What is it that you should truly be focusing on and truly be feeling pride about? Well, your mind. Have you learned to not get overwhelmed by your thoughts and your emotions? Have you learned to take a deep breath and have stillness and peace? Have you learned to avoid depression or crawl your way back up from depression? And your heart. Have you learned how to go into your heart space every time you hear a bird sing or every time you see a butterfly? Have you learned to love others? Have you learned to allow them to love you? Have you learned to love the unlovable, the seemingly unlovable? Have you made progress with your ability to interact with other beings? Can you say that I have learned to have relationships? I have learned not to be afraid of family. I have learned to welcome community. I now leave my door open and have a kettle ready to make a pot of tea, and I welcome any visitors who want to sit with me and have a conversation. I have learned to take down the force field around my energetic being and around my heart and to open it to the flow of people that come through my life. Have you learned to work with your chakras, with the aspects and nature of your being? Can you say you know when to be rooted and when you know to be on fire? Can you soothe that fire and surrender it into air and love and flow? Do you know how to connect? Do you enjoy the senses while in this body, in this physical form? Have you learned to connect beyond the senses? Have you learned to tune into and trust guidance? Do you connect with your guides or your ancestors, with tradition, with ritual, with guidance with a capital G. These are accomplishments. These are the things that you should truly feel satisfied knowing that you have accomplished. Do not be defeated if you are not where you wanted to be financially. Oftentimes, people who are on a spiritual awakening journey are never where they want to be for a variety of reasons, but because when you go through spiritual awakening, your spirit awakens, your spirit guides you, and your spirit knows better what is a true accomplishment than what you think is an accomplishment. So I know you have your vision of the big and elaborate house, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you are on your way to that, and you will get it. But look back at who you were 10 years ago and see how far you have truly and actually come. Look back at the fears and traumas and wounds of the child that you used to be, of the child that you carry inside of your awareness. And look at how many of those fears you have overcome. Remember the guides and teachers that you had along the way when you said, wow, I really wish I could be a little bit more like this person. And recognize that you are. Learn to measure your accomplishments with eternal measures. Learn to feel good about your cosmic and eternal journey. And know that if you're looking up videos like this, if you're reading topics like this, then what you're going through is your spiritual awakening. It is the phase where you learn to exist on this physical plane, both as a physical being and your spiritual aspect. You're reconnecting with what has been forgotten. And in many ways, that is the hardest thing to accomplish, and you should be most proud of that. This is like breaking through that ribbon in the marathon. You are doing the greatest accomplishment, and it symbolizes the end of a really long struggle. And that is more worthy. I don't want to compare, but it's more noteworthy. That is more noteworthy than winning an Olympic medal. It's more noteworthy than any of the accomplishments that you're feeling bad that you didn't achieve. You are hearing the voice and the call of your eternal and divine self. You are responding to it, and you are handing over, or rather you are recognizing that the wheel has always been in the hands of your spirit aspect, and you are surrendering to that, and you are stepping out of the way and allowing spirit to run your life. And there is no greater accomplishment than that. Your spirit is going to guide you to remembering your full nature, to waking up in the dream, and that is the ultimate victory, and you are on that path. Remember that. Do not be frustrated by the other things. Those are pastimes, occupations, and fun games. But this is the true journey, and this is the true measure of success, and you are doing a great job. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.